Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Hey, ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to KocoSports. It's where the world comes to cash, home for comics, sports, and where it's okay to be a passionate fan. I am the huge one, idiot Dave Koco from DAVKOCO.com. We are reading comments from Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, all KocoSports. We also hit Instagram and TikTok, but that's more Japan heavy. And we're just gonna go through the comments. We'll definitely hit up everyone, but I'm getting a lot of DMs, and some of it's positive, some of it's negative, some of it's all different. So I just thought I'd be opening up with you for a couple seconds, a little bit about me, why I still stream. A lot of it is like, well, you're retired. Why do you care? Why do you do this? You're more successful at other things than YouTube. And I kind of miss it. And I love it. And I know some people are mean-spirited and they'll make fun of it. But a serious note, though, is like I mess up a lot because I have concussions and I have memory problems. And I talked to my girlfriend about this. I talked to my friends about it. And it's just like, yeah, dude, just have fun. Sometimes I mess up and screw up. And I feel like when it came to being a sports reporter, I kind of was forced out because of, you know, my brain being scrambled eggs. I'm going to see a doctor in the future. Definitely going to see if I can save my memory, but it's going away little by little. I have serious concussions. I have serious, I don't want to say brain damage, but it's scrambled. It's scrambled. And people sometimes mock and sometimes people support, but I just see it as a window. It's like, well, that window as a sports reporter closed. I was a wrestling promoter. That kind of came to a close. And I don't want to not do this. And I might be forced one day to forget. Like, when it comes to doing watch parties, I have to have the list of the names of the wrestlers. Because when it comes to, like, concussions and memories, sometimes you stutter, sometimes you slur, sometimes you'll be like, what did you say? Especially when it comes to names. Like, I'll know. I watch every episode of New Japan. And there's times where I'm like, what's that guy's name? What's going on? And I'll have a list of guys. If you ever watch a watch party, I'm always clicking. Like, oh, who got it? Oh, who did it? Who did that? And it's just short-term memory loss. So it's kind of like I'm enjoying YouTube. I don't have to do it. But I've seen some negative people and positive people be like, why do you do this? Why do you do this? And I do it because the window's closing. If my memory is shittier, I mean, it's got to the point now where I've met famous people and I don't fucking remember meeting them. And it's just, that's it. So I know a lot of people, some people are mean-spirited. Some people are like, oh man, you don't even fucking know the names. It's like, no, I do know the fucking names for now. And I definitely need memories. So I'm only doing the YouTube. I'd love to see it be successful and pass what it was. Obviously, that's the greedy part, but there's also a part of me that's like, I don't know how much longer I can have memories. There's times where I walk with my girlfriend and be like, where are we going? And she's like, what the fuck do you mean, where are we going? I'm like, I honestly don't know where we're going. You know, I met my son and daughter, and they're always scared. They're like scared because they're like, oh, well, we have to like follow a phone. We have to do this because you'll forget where you're going halfway through. And my time on YouTube is limited, so I want to enjoy it. You know, there'll probably be a time where I'm like, I can't do it anymore. Now, some people were understandable and be like, oh, that's fucking cool. Some people were complete dicks about it. But I just thought I'd come clean. I just got a lot of DMs. I know it's weird. We live in a world where people send DMs. Listen, we got to tickle the balls of the YouTube algorithm. If we only got 10, 20 fucking views, I don't want fucking DMs. Put that shit in the comments. We got to tickle the balls of Google. But yeah, I just thought I'd come clean with it just because it's got to the point where, like, I try to hide my hands. I try to hide the fact that I stutter. And I also try to hide the fact that I'm just horrible at names. Like, literally, I have the card open at all times. And, you know, I've been mocked before. I've also been, hey, you shouldn't do it. But fuck it, dude. I'm retired. I have a mustache. The fuck? So I just wanted to be open with the audience to go from forward with this. And we're going to go see doctors. We're going to improve. I mean, come on, dude. You can totally fucking crush your brain, forget everything, and it comes back. Science has done that. Science has never done that. Oh, enjoy what conscience you have left because science hasn't caught up with it. Oh, okay. Good. Great. Wonderful. Anyway, I'm just trying to have fun, but I got a lot of whys with negativity, and I got a lot of whys with positivity. So I just thought I'd throw it out there and tell the truth. So yeah, I enjoy it. Hopefully, my goal is I'd love to recreate what we had and try to build from there, but it's a lot harder. I say fuck. I'm not positive all the time. I'm just shooting from the hip, shooting from the heart before I forget what I'm shooting for. All right, let's go. We'll start with YouTube right here. This is KocoSports AEW Dynamite review. This is from Marcos. He says, I thought it was a weak win too. My only highlights were Pac versus Buddy Matthew, Rosa versus Sharif, and Moxley versus KOR. The rest was unforgettable stuff. Yeah, I thought this Dynamite was a bit rough, but I don't know. I feel when it comes to New Japan, and I mentioned this earlier, and I feel like with AEW, I feel like the booking is so off that I am like purposely just saying it's a reset button. I am purposely seeing it as a reset button. Because a lot of times you're like, oh, it makes sense. All right, tell me why it makes sense. Well, you know, it's kind of like we're at a point where we just insult and make fun of each other. And then when you're like, explain why or how, they cut that shit off. Andy Paps, cool. Thank you, Andy Paps. Edgar, thank you for the compliments. Let's see. Jimmy Ramos. Good old Jimmy Ramos. This is good because I like this. We have a little conversation. Jimmy is from the Philippines trying to make it as a baseball player. And I answered a question, and I believe I got his tone wrong. So this is from the New Japan and Stardom announced for first event ever. You make great points. The only thing I wanted to clarify was I didn't mean to combine the two leagues. I meant I'd much rather have them separated. I'm more meant should New Japan one or two higher profile Stardom matches on shows that struggle to find out which matches like the last year's Dominion in place of the wrestlers like Taguchi and Gedo and matches like that. Yeah, well, Noah is doing that. Noah is I'm very pro and high on Noah, and I don't know if it's because I'm so disappointed with New Japan or that, but yeah, I don't think they should combine, but they should have special matches, and they should have special matches not because they're women, because they're champions. Yeah, like last year, they made a place wrestlers like Taguchi and Gedo getting matches. I agree with that. I had to oversimplify my question because Twitter character limits. No problem. I understand. All right. Victor says they want you to forget any interaction they had in the past because they know how US AEW fans broke TK balls by not having female wrestlers into account for the first day they announced Forbidden Door. Oh, got it. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on the women's division at AEW. It's crazy. It's crazy. Hopefully at the end of the day, it just turns out well. Malik Douglas, this is about the Samoa Joe. Will play in Sweet Tooth. I did make a mistake. Let me eat some crow on this. I left the detail out. I didn't say what I said wasn't wrong, but I left out a detail. He is going to, I believe, voice over the character. So he's going to play the character and someone's going to voice over the character. He's not doing both. So I messed that up. I apologize. But it's still nice to see Samoa Joe get a lot of acting work. Joe is getting a lot of sweet voice acting roles. What a beast. Yep, thank you, Malik Douglas. Ewok from Endor. That's old school, man. Old school. Ewok from Endor. Twisted Metal had one of the favorite games as a youth. Great news, Dave. I just think it's so cheesy and stupid. It's perfect for a Hollywood film. I just think it's so perfect for a Hollywood film. The Kingdom says, this show was very lackluster. I don't like the direction New Japan is going. I'm thinking about canceling my subscription and just be done with wrestling altogether. It sucks, especially American wrestling. Yeah, I understand being burnt out. I really do. I've taken breaks before, and people are very pro brands and not sure what they really, really want. I feel, a couple months ago I said, if there isn't a product for you, you're not a pro wrestling fan. But it does seem that there is a point where that originality snaps and they go to try to be like WWE. You know, like, I feel like AEW was doing amazing things, and they're like, oh, we're just like the Fed. Oh, we're just, and it sucks because WWE is such a monopoly that even when you have something original and something special, they start leaning towards being like WWE, but it doesn't really affect where it's at. And, you know, to steal a line from the Great Muta, you worship a god that doesn't love you. And to me, it's like, oh, New Japan's amazing. It's something different, strong. Oh, they're just trying to be like WWE. Oh, AEW is amazing. Records, oh, they're just trying to be like WWE. Oh, and so, like, they get into a funk where their originality and their idea takes them to a certain point, and then they think to go even further, they have to out WWE the WWE, and that's the scary part. That's the scary part. Noah, I think, is the hot thing, and I wonder if you just search for talent and what you're looking for, but the problem is, it seems to be like harder and harder work, and maybe, I mean, if you're old school, you got NWA, but they're kind of frisky. I don't know. I understand, but there's times where, like, there's original stuff out there, and there's so much content out there, but it also can be overwhelming. It also can be very overwhelming. I'd hate to see you not be a pro wrestling fan, but I understand. You should at least still be able to enjoy it. And not that, but also too, like, there's positivity bullies where they're like, you have to like it. You have to like it. Oh, this is awesome. And it's almost like, you know, Lord of the Rings is doing this. Disney's doing this. They attack critiques because they know it's bad. You know, like, if you know you made a bad product and you're like, well, yeah, but they're racist, sexist, bad fucking people. It's like, all right, well, then you put people in a position that if you don't like it, you're one of those people, you know? And it gets to the point where it's like, well, it's not a good product, so let's just blame it on the fans. Let's just blame it on the fans. And it works because, like, you don't want to be that way. You know, like, example, if you don't like the new Ghostbusters, you're a sexist. If you don't like the new Star Wars, you're sexist and racist. If you don't, and then it's like, okay, well, then why bother watching? Why bother critiquing it? And it's almost like it's getting critique-proofed, and they really love to do that with brands, where they're like, oh, well, WWE, AEW, New Japan, and it's just sad, because I wish people would hold brands and people to what they want to see, but I don't think it's going to happen. So I hope you find something that you enjoy, but we'll see. Jimmy Ramos says, what the hell is Takahashi not fighting Ishimori at? This is a good point. This is a very good point, Jimmy. Why the hell is Takahashi not fighting Ishimori at Dominion? What was the point of watching this tournament if they have to watch the finals on some stupid C pay-per-view night 7 that would break up a real good pay-per-view and give us 10 boring shows? Yeah, I don't know. And not a lot, but they're not even giving it away for free. They're giving it away on a Tuesday pay-per-view. So it is very interesting. And on top of that, you know, there was only like less than 4,000 people at their last event. They are hurting right now, and they're making excuses, and people are repeating the excuses where it's like, no, that's just not true. Like, what you're saying isn't true. Noah's rocking out of the park. You know, the Rice Bowl knocked it out of the park. So I don't know. I hope we're not in a thing where we're making excuses for corporations. But yeah, a lot of people, Jimmy Ramos, was upset, and yeah, it's going to be weird. They're just putting it on a show that's on a Tuesday night. It's like, are they embarrassed of the Super Juniors? I have no idea. It's a very interesting situation. All right. Next, Victor says, without this is for our opinion of AEW's shoot. Some people think it's amazing. I think it's pretty good. I think it's a little overhyped. But, you know, maybe I'm just bitter and angry. Without Punk, I don't think they can pull this off quickly, but I hope so. They need to improve their TV time management. Like they had 2 months to build done, and they started with 3 weeks remaining. Yeah. I think the last pay-per-view they showed, dents in their armor, and the MJF thing has got us talking, but you're insulting a fan base and insulting what the company became, and I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. I think when it comes to MJF and it comes to Tony Khan and all these people, they just have to stick the landing. And positive people will be like, oh, yeah, dude, don't worry. This is amazing. It's amazing. Kayfabe, all that. But in reality, if they don't stick the landing, so I hope they stick the landing. King Darkwing Duck goes on an AEW Dynamite review. I'm no AEW fan, but I think they're overrated. They do some cool stuff, but I checked it out last night, and that MJF Pro was stupid. Don't just get me wrong, great at what he does, and he delivers the promo great, but I'm sick of these work-shoot promos. I think I'm in the same boat as far as the work-shoot promos, and I think I'm in the same boat because so many of them fail, and so many of them don't deliver. And yeah, I kind of agree. Basically just say this is all fake now. He's being real about behind-the-scenes stuff, and it's just dumb. Yeah, WCW really ran this into the grounds. If you're going to keep telling me that it's all fake, why should I care? I agree. This is the only product that really does that. I mean, you can flirt the line, but at the same time, it does get a little bit silly. That's why I'm glad when the Elite left New Japan. Why did they crap all the time? And I don't know what you thought of AEW was going to be if you were watching Omega, Cody, and the Bucks. They're all about WWE entertainment garbage, and that's exactly what most of AEW is. I think it's turning that way, but it didn't start off that way, in my opinion. It's just a better version of WWE. I think that's fair. Plus, they have some injuries, so we'll see. They're hurting. See, the thing is, they gave us lots of hope. They delivered great shows, and now they got you. And it's like, well, I need to keep rooting for it. And if you critique it, you're a bad person. So yeah, it's an interesting so. And Hikuleo, in my opinion, is definitely improving. I don't think he'll be a megastar or anything. I think he's a better version of Bad Luck Fale. Probably going to take his role for being the big guy in the tournament that gets upset. The match that he had with Jay White Strong a few weeks ago is pretty solid. Yeah, I asked about Hikuleo. Different people had such strong opinions on him. I appreciate that, King Darkwing Duck, for a level thing. Bishop says, as far as the AEW win, a great bounce back. Carlos, this is best of the Super Juniors, night 12. In most of the New Japan tournaments, you would have the winner coming from the block opposite of the champs, so I kind of knew that Despy would either win or at least make it to the finals, but they didn't need Huru there. It should have been Ace Austin. Yeah, Ace Austin did an amazing job, but I don't know. I guess they haven't tested the water with it yet. Mark S. Talking about Double or Nothing review. While it was not a bad pay-per-view, most of these matches felt like they could have been on Dynamite. They did not feel like a pay-per-view level matches. I kind of agree with that. But the thing is, they did such a great job at Dynamite, and now they have to balance it out. But, see, the thing is, I think this pay-per-view is a big deal because stuff that it came all down. It was like, oh, okay. It exposed things that a lot of people didn't see before. Best of the night, Super Night 12. After watching all this first time, I must say Geto is really washed up as a booker and they should find a new one. I think everyone's been saying that. It's like he wrote a great book once and then he just keeps repeating the same great book over and over and over, and now he's kind of losing touch. Double or Nothing review. Victor says, A- for me. I enjoyed the show, but build-up was trash and sloppy. You have 2 to 3 months build-up. I don't want to hear excuses about it. Yeah, I feel like we live in a world where people feel like they're part of the brand and have to make excuses, or they have to be super negative. Like, that was one thing. I got a lot of DMs being like, are you talking about me? Are you talking about me? And I'm like, well, if most reviewers are sock fuckers, sandal fuckers, and shoe fuckers, and you say, I'm not a shoe fucker, I never said you were. You think you are, That's on you. I watched a handful of thing, a handful of people, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, oh, okay, most of this is super positive, super negative, or just super safe saying nothing. So I basically said you're either a sandal fucker, a sock fucker, or a shoe fucker. And everyone's like, I'm not a shoe fucker. I never said you were. But the fact that you thought you were a shoe fucker and not a sandal fucker, that's on you. That's not on me. Good stuff from Dan, Hook, and Nice. Push Wardlow to the moon. MJF situations needs to resolve. Sign him a new contract, fire him, or suspend him. I don't want this to go on for more than 1 year. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are worried about. He cut a really good promo. A lot of it was, straight lifted from CM Punk. It exposed stuff that probably shouldn't have been exposed because, all right, I don't understand how it's gonna do well, but it got people excited. It got people ding. Now you shut us up by, landing, sticking the finish. The Hardy Boys title run should be over. The match is fucking horrible. I'm not a big fan of the Hardys. Book the TNT like the best mid-card belt in the world again, please. That would be amazing. I don't mind Punk winning. Adam Page booking was horrible. I hope he gets more meaningful second run. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of handing a belt to someone and then be like, don't worry, a second run will be better. This is a very New Japan type thing, and I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of it. I just think we should have long title runs, and when the champion is there, you should be like, oh, and a second run will be better, or oh man, he'll do better now than his first title run. It's like where you should have, especially when booking, you should have professionalism and know like when the guy's gonna take off, because I think if you don't get that timing right, it fucking messes up. KocoSports Double or Nothing. Marco says, this was a weak win. I feel like the level of All Out 2019, solid pay-per-view. It had potential to be great. It's the weakest dawn of the three shows. I can kind of agree with that. Bishop says, Anti-Bishop says, this is from the New Japan Best of Super Juniors. I probably should have did this video by video. Is it true that they told Linderman to dial it back with Glee while Huge in 2020, 2023 because they can't handle him? The rest of the roster is going to leave them in the dust. This is, when it comes to El Linderman, there's dirt sheets reporting that they asked him to slow down his matches because it would embarrass the rest of the roster. But just consider it like as a as a Twitter or Facebook or a dirt sheet type thing. There is a rumor being passed around that he was told to slow down. The sources are very weak, but at the same time, he definitely did not look like himself. So maybe the sources are true, or maybe they have a story for why he did not look like himself. So I don't know how true it is, but I definitely think the Super Juniors should have been faster and had more. There you go. This is back to Double or Nothing. Jimmy Ramos says, I thought this pay-per-view sucked. Almost all the matches were TV quality, and there were too many matches. Now, this is a double-edged sword, Jimmy, because a lot of times Dynamite delivers on matches on free television, so it might hurt their pay-per-view. And I think it would be okay if there was build-up and stuff happened. Like, yeah, this is an interesting situation. Would you rather have 4 pay-per-views and they're at the same level as Dynamite and it's kind of like an IOU, and in Dynamite still they try their best, even though sometimes Dynamite hits and misses? My opinion, yeah, have great matches on Dynamite, have great matches on a pay-per-view. I will pay for the pay-per-view out of, oh wow, you put on a lot of great content. I will buy the pay-per-views, but all I ask is that at least storyline-wise, it seems important. I remember, during a watch party, and I know we talked about having memory problems, but I remember doing a watch party going, oh yeah, those guys are fighting for the title. And maybe it shouldn't be like that. So yeah, it's scary to see Tony Khan bragging that this pay-per-view will have the most matches when it should have been quality over quantity. Yeah, I'm still a little confused by that. I still haven't received an answer. I understand on Twitch why you want longer streams. You know, I understand how the economy works on that. I even understand the economy on television. You know, I understand why television networks want more hours. I understand why USA, TNT, TBS want more hours of the content. I do not understand the theory. If someone can explain it to me, why the pay-per-views being longer makes them more money. I've seen reports where Tony Khan said because the pay-per-views were longer, they made more money, and I don't understand. It's like, you know, in Japan, I think it's like $15 for the pay-per-view. So I get the whole show for $15 if it's an hour, 2 hours, or 20 hours long. I don't understand why he can make more money for the pay-per-views being longer. There's a piece of the puzzle missing, and I could be wrong, but I don't understand. Like Twitch, I understand. I was like, oh yeah, I have Twitch sponsorships, I have Twitch contracts, Twitch deals. Like, okay, I understand. YouTube, they want it to be over 10 minutes. Oh, because they can put ads in. You know, we don't have any ads because I say fuck. But you're like, okay, I get it. But I don't get the pay-per-view. I don't get the pay-per-view unless it's just he thinks he's gonna get more subscribers. But I could be wrong. There might be something I'm missing. Anti-Bishop said, this is the second video where not overall happy with the pay-per-view or the company lately. I listened and just wanted to agree to disagree. Great video as always. So he was very happy with this was double or nothing review. So there you go. I'll put a little fair enough. I'm just gonna put fair enough. Like Google tells you, is like, do you want to say this? Like I did. They will need to go with Shingo. Oh, this is Okada and wife announced baby time off from Okada in New Japan because he was teasing it in Japanese. I say who would take over if Okada steps down? Jay White, save us. They need to go with Shingo, like Ospreay is having a terrible year with injuries and health. At least they have until August to raise Jay's stock back up. Nope, he's already a champ. They ain't wait until August. Solve the Ibushi situation. I think it's going to be swept under the rug, in my opinion. If they can, one more guy for mid-card, maybe Jeff Cobb. I'd love to see them push Jeff Cobb, but I don't know. It's very, you know, it's weird because New Japan and AEW and all that are like, yeah, an Impact are like, yeah, we're going to make our own stars. But they have opportunities to make their own stars, and they just get replaced by former WWE guys. It's really fucking weird. And then they went Zayn and Austin Jr. This is from Anti-Bishop. Zayn and Austin for Junior Tag League. I'd love to see that. All right. Q&A. Hey, New Japan happening. All right. Yeah. I think we're good. I just want to see. Here we go. Cover for the door. Winner takes all. Ace versus. Okay, maybe I haven't read this. Golden Star Alex is a long comment. It's kind of funny when you think about it. This is the question Q&A with AEW and New Japan work relationship happening. Which company benefits the most? It's kind of funny when you think about it. AEW was first formed and the Elite left New Japan. Both companies needed help. AEW needed to find its footing and its direction, and New Japan needed to find its replacement for the Elite. They rushed Jay White to the Omega spot and still don't have any tag team division. So partnering up with AEW right off the bat would have benefited both sides. Agreed. It was, but egos and the pandemic got in the way of that. Egos were way worse than the pandemic. And now when you look at it, New Japan with Okada being Mr. Sleepwalker, Tanahashi and Nitro having more matches behind them than ahead of them, and Ibushi having a ton of heat with them, who does New Japan have left for the top guys? They're meaning New Japan don't just need AEW's help, they need all the help they can get. Being on good terms and working with other companies like Noah at Dragon Gate might be the best way to keep their Japanese fan base. That along with proper booking, but that goes without saying. And that's, you hit a home run with that, Jedi. You hit a home run. So thank you. Bishop says, oh yeah, Rick, 1982. He's also on Twitch too. The question I want to know is who's representing AEW in the upcoming G1 tournament. I don't know. I'm so disappointed with the G1 tournament. I don't even think I want to break it down or preview it. I mean, the people on YouTube are not going to want to hear me say it's beyond disappointing. And yeah, we got Archer back. Yay! How's up? Everything's doing well. I appreciate it, Rick. Let's see. Bishops, hey, hear me out. At Forbidden Door, winner takes all. Ace Austin, Himu, and Bone Soldier. I'd love that. I would actually do it. Even Wrestling Ranted to skip it to Gucci matches? No! Question, does anybody want to see Apollo 55 reunion? No. Either Finn Balor or Prince Devitt retires or just me. I don't. I'm tired of Taguchi. I don't even remember if Taguchi was good. Yeah, no, I'm good. King Darkwing Duck says, so I take it you're an actual Cena hater because you see how fake his persona is, that everyone's average in the ring. Mathematics say Cena doesn't have much left in him. I don't know if this is an insult towards me or a positive thing towards me. I was a little confused by it. I almost fell for great PR. When I heard Funkadactyls dude say he got an opportunity because of John Cena, I was like, that's amazing. And then, he's doing charity. I was like, that's amazing. Maybe I was wrong. What a great guy. He's not promoting anything. Oh, he's returning to WWE? You fucking got me. I don't know. I'm just tired of fucking hating him. No one's going to fucking hate him. No one's going to know the real him. So, yeah, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. I just, out of the woodwork, they just did an interview for no fucking reason that told this great story about him. And he has tons of cameras doing tons of great things. And he's back. I don't know. I'm just tired and over it. It's like, yep, he's a great guy. You win. I was wrong. El Phantasmo can have a good match. Yeah, it's weird with El Phantasmo. If he just got rid of, I'm white, I'm a horrible person, I scratch backs, he could have great matches. And that's what these long tournaments were. EVP! Thank you, Bishop, for mentioning this long. It looks like the Bullet Club will discard the members of the House of Torture and may Roppongi 3K be reunited after the fact of the heavyweights. That'd be nice. That would be beautiful. That's from Carlos. Chief Slappo. Cool fucking name. I'm going to have a slight disagreement on this one. Yo is much more engaging of the two, but Sho is the better wrestler. And also probably shouldn't be broken them up. Definitely shouldn't have made an interference heel matches and literally the strongest asset. Yeah. Chief Slappo, that's the thing. I think when it comes to Roppongi 3K, everyone argues over who was the best / worst one of the two, but I think we all agree they shouldn't have broken up. I think we all agree. Some people are like, I'm a yo guy, I'm a show guy, but most of us think they shouldn't have broken up. Yeah. And Bishop says turning both House of Torture. Did they choose? This is from comment time. Did they choose wrong in the split up of Roppongi 3K? Yeah, I don't know. I just think they just chose wrong, period, splitting them up. Ibushi tweeted again, I hope the matter ends. It kind of looks dark right now. Yeah, I did a video on that. As far as the Ibushi situation goes, that's how Japanese people sweep it under the rug. Just look up our videos, and I talk about the Ibushi situation coming from a Japanese, someone that worked at a Japanese employment and ran companies. Agree on Phantasmo. He is getting exposed each passing year. Show match was painful to watch. I thought it was a DQ at no point, and this was night 5, so I think that will be it for comment time. We're going a little far back. I refuse to watch Taguchi and Maru matches. They are more effective than NyQuil to me. I agree. All right, so we will make sure to get all that. Now we're going to head to Facebook. We're going to do Twitter and then call it a day. These videos are a little bit longer, but I just like doing this to do it. Damn, it's only 33 minutes. We might have to cancel a stream tonight. I didn't think it was going to be that long. This is from Rob. Facebook, listen, Facebook guys, I'd really love if you put these great comments on YouTube to tickle the balls of the algorithm. Fans' reaction to AEW on Reddit are not great. A lot of pointing out flaws and a lot of look at all the WWE guys' time. So far, so good on that promo MJF cut. And why does AEW have so many fucking belts now? It's insane. They don't book their belts as well as it is. I thought tag belts, 2 men's and 2 women's was a lot. It was. Now they've gotten Owen belts and 1 around plus new belts. Fucking nuts. Yeah, and the thing is too with the Owen belts, I think it's cool, but they just have so many. And the fact that there's a brand new belt is kind of crazy. I like the Owen belts. I don't know how long they're going to do it. I like the fact that it's trophies, but there is just way too many titles in WWE, AEW, plus you count Ring of Honor and New Japan. It's just way too many titles. And if you're going to have that many titles, A, don't. B, just have the same guy collect a bunch of them, like Kenny Omega style. Just have fucking like 50 guys. There you go. All right. There you go. Just go. Also, do you think AEW sends Brian to the G1? That answering this way too late. He is not coming. Archer is probably the biggest name that is coming, according to Wrestling Rantin Review. And he said he wants to wait until the fans cheer. I think they can cheer now. I could be wrong. I know it's weird because I know we don't have to wear masks anymore, but everyone still wears masks to be safe. I don't know. I thought they were opening up cheering this month. I could be wrong, but I think they're allowed to cheer. I don't know, to be honest. But according to Rantin Review, one tweet that I'm just copying off him, make sure to check him out. He said that he wants to wait for the fans cheering. So I don't know. To me, that's it. He goes on, I think Brian not going to G1 as part of Forbidden Door would be nuts. Yep. Yeah. And then he says, if honest question, why did he leave WWE unless it was for a lighter schedule? I think it was a lighter schedule to get in there, but yeah, it should be interesting. All right, this is from Logan. I got to meet Logan at Wrestle Kingdom, and he's such a really nice guy. Hopefully we'll be able to meet up again, and he's very knowledgeable about pro wrestling, so I'd love to see him leave comments or maybe be a part of the show. So he goes, I'm just reading this. I like the Stardom New Japan video, and I agree with the sentiment. I watch every big Stardom pay-per-view and have attended their big shows each year when possible in Japan. I also went to the Stardom New York City show. And some of your videos, you talk about how Western fans pretend to watch Japanese wrestling. That's extremely the case for Stardom and TJPW. Uninformed fans who don't even watch the product want to mix women's and men's wrestling in Japan. Yeah, I think it's a bad idea when it's the only going to hurt the women. Geto can't even book New Japan properly, but somehow he can mix in women as well. Yeah, right. And I do even further and say women's wrestling mixed with men's in the West has almost never worked. Even AEW is doing it right. The women just don't have time to showcase their abilities. Stardom sometimes outdraws New Japan. It's going to happen more and more if New Japan doesn't fix their problems. Jay White, save us. These days as well. Stardom's 10th anniversary show outdrew New Japan's 49th anniversary show, both at Budokan Hall. So yeah, and he just has the numbers. Miyu, sorry, I'm gonna stutter here. Miyu Yashimi. Damn, I fucking hate concussions, dude. I know fucking other YouTubers will mock me, but Yamashita just lost on AEW Dark Evolution. Shit, and she is one of the aces of TJPW. Tony Khan put her on the show. Nobody watches to have her lose in a tag match. It's best for women if they stay on their own shows before where you can get booked like stars. I kind of agree with that. The only possible saying grace for the New Japan Stardom pay-per-view for me will be if Unagani teams up with the great Okan. They had a funny interview together and had good vibes. I don't like Okan as a worker, but it was a fun interview, and he sent me a link to it. Maybe I'll put it down in doobly-doo if I remember. If not, just say, hey, I want to see that interview, and then I'll fucking forward it in the comments. Or maybe if Kota Ibushi teams with Kaminante, since he is the hero and she works just like him. Yeah. Did you happen to watch Cyber Fight Festival? I did, and I enjoyed it a lot, and I'll be doing reviews of it. I was watching it today along with Dominion. Yeah, we got to Logan. We're watching on the Twitch machine. We got to get you part of this, Logan. I was watching it today along with Dominion. I watched last year's Cyberfest Festival too. I'm quite happy about this year's was better than last. And Cyber Agent are spending a lot of money. The production quality is amazing. Yeah, you guys, if you haven't seen just the entrances alone, it's going to remind you of old Pride. Quality is amazing. Yeah, I think they're really going for it, man. I really think Noah's going for it. More back to him. I think the upcoming New Japan Stardom event may be a reaction to the combination of women and men on the Cyber Fight Festival card. Yeah. And not that, but I just think there's pressure. They're trying to get into North America. And in North America, they're like, the women are equal. It's like, well, they can have their own show and be stars. I don't want that. I want women to be equal. Cool. How many WNBA jerseys you have? None. Oh, okay. WNBA players get paid the same. Cool. How many games have you been to? How many games have you watched? Oh, okay. Oh, you just want to feel good about yourself. You don't actually want them to be equal. Cyber Fight Festival 2 was Wrestle Kingdom quality production, maybe more. Yeah, it was amazing. Cyber Agent continued to invest in problems, a lost leader type of deal. I'm impressed, though, yeah. All right, so there you go. That's it for Facebook. Now to the Twitter machine. All right, there you go. My Twitter's all over the place. It's got video games, it's got hockey, it's got wrestling. I'm skipping a lot just to see. Golden Star says, I just thought of this idea. You know how the G1 is 4 blocks of 7 wrestlers by the looks of it last night? What if they did 2 blocks of all New Japan guys, 1 block of Impact guys, and 1 block of AEW guys, and they keep score and tally across the shows? Would be cool, but consider it, and this is my answer. I'm reading my own answer. I think we just gone into comment timeception. Would be cool, but considering New Japan just got Archer, we are far off from that. It would be, but also I think, you know, I don't think I just would love an AEW Impact guy to show up to G1. Yeah. There you go. And let me see where this is. This is from Ray T from HTX, Houston, Texas. Not going to lie. I wish the G1 was single elimination. Find 5 more to make 32 a group of 8 would have been nuts. Nevertheless, anxious to hear from Double R, Rant and Review, and a huge one, KocoSports, about the upcoming G1 and the cyber fights. Ranton answered, well, the G1 is formatted to be like a sports season with the playoffs like the NFL, NHL, NBA, etc. That makes it unique compared to what we get in the States. Yes, it is based, he's 100% correct. It is based off a basho, a sumo basho, where everyone fights everyone and then there's a tournament or a final at the very end. It's very exciting, and it also does a great job of, you know, hitting up the television markets that they have to hit up. So that's why some of the events are smaller. That doesn't explain why they didn't sell many tickets in the finals. And on top of that, yeah. So I do think the G1 should stay the same. They should just get better athletes. And I would love a 64 type elimination thing, but that'd be cool by an AEW company. It would be cool to have a March Madness tournament in America and a basho in Japan. It would just be a little bit different. But single elimination basho, I just don't think that's not what they're known for. It's kind of like the tradition of history, and it's really enjoyable. So yeah. Now, granted, I think it's harder with the internet age. Back in the day, you know, it's harder to pull off. I know Impact Wrestling tried it. I didn't see it, but people said it wasn't very successful. I mean, Impact fans said it was successful, but Impact fans saying Impact is successful seems silly. But yeah. All right, there you go. Hockey. Bam. Answered it in a video. I think we're good. Mostly hockey. Tampa Bay Lightning. Go. When you streaming. Okay. Twitter. If I missed your Twitter wrestling comments, just resend them at KocoSports. If it's good enough to make their own video, I will make a video of it. But I'm also going to try to do comment time. I didn't think this was going to go 42 minutes and 55 seconds. If you made it to the very end, put in Cowabunga. You're late for Twitch. And then I'll know you're one of the real ones. We are always streaming on twitch.tv/KocoSports. We are KocoSports on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and of course, the TikTok. So make sure to check it out. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you thought of the big video. I was answering a lot of questions. I didn't know what to do with the thing. Usually I do YouTube videos in this screen. Boom. But I didn't know what to put in the screen. Stack Up's our charity event. Make sure to hit it up. We'll put a link down in the doobly-doo. We're trying to get 2,000 by the end of the year. On a charity stream, we got to 1,600, and I was really great. But I was like, what am I going to put in that box? So I just decided to make me big. And plus, the Great Gaming from Twitch. And then, of course, we got Raptor Man. So tell me what you think. Sorry that if I'm so big. But yeah. Anyway, did I say like, comment, subscribe? With that, I am over. Hey,